Hey, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, I can hear you now.
Perfect.
Yay! How are you?
Oh, goodness. I'm doing good. I'm a little sweaty because I just went on a bike ride and I was like, oh gosh, like it took a little longer than I thought. So I like blow dried my hair and tried to look presentable. And it's the great thing about this new foundation that I'm wearing is that it doesn't show sweat very much. So it's entirely too much
No,
to
I
share.
wouldn't. No, no, no. I'm all about oversharing. I'm Rebecca, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Hello, good to meet you as well. I have theory rigged my cell phone with washi tape so that it's literally stuck to my laptop.
That's awesome.
To keep it from falling forward, and that way I don't have to hold it the whole time, which is super helpful.
Yeah, we want to know what the foundation is. What's the foundation?
Yeah. Oh, it's Bare Minerals. So I don't like foundation normally. I'm like definitely like a lighter makeup type person, and I bought it at Sephora a couple weeks ago. It's like in a heavy glass bottle. It's by Bare Minerals, and I use their like powder foundation too. And the sales girl was like, "Oh my gosh, you have to use this. It doesn't show sweat." And I was like, "Girlfriend, I'm a wedding photographer. Like, I need this to last for like 10 hours." And she was like, "Trust me." And the great thing about Sephora is that if it doesn't work, you can return it within 30 days. So I tried it, and I was like I used it for a doubleheader weekend, and like never had to like touch up my powder or anything like that because my face looked like this the whole time. It was awesome.
That is awesome. So I have never used the Bare Minerals non-powder stuff. I used to use like the powder stuff, but this is like liquid?
Yep. Yeah, so she also introduced me to the concept of a beauty blender because I had the last foundation that I tried to use, I just like smeared it on with my hands, and I was like, I don't like foundation. It looks bad. She was like, that's because you're putting it on wrong.
That's so funny.
Apparently you're supposed to use like a sponge thing. So she pointed me towards a beauty blender, and like, yeah, it's like you like pump a little bit right here, and then like.
So. It's all about the beauty blender.
I learned so much.
It's all about the beauty blender. Yes. Well, you have great skin, so it's not like you need foundation.
Well, that's the foundation.
Well, you look awesome. It's so awesome. Well, but right before you popped on, I was basically reading through your bio on your website, and I'm gonna flip the screen again and just kind of scroll through some of your Instagram feed and just show everyone some stuff. And so if you want to commentate on your Instagram feed at all, I'll let you be the commentator on that. So let me just flip it around. So yeah.
This is me. Yay. And my work. Yeah, it's funny. So Instagram is one of those things that I don't feel like I'm very good at. But I don't know, you have all those different like proverbial wisdoms of like pick your top 5 stories or like show your face in your top 9, and like I try hard to subscribe to those, but like I just mostly post like things that I love. I try to keep a variety of like mostly my wedding and anniversary work, definitely a lot of my Paris stuff because that's so where my heart is, and then like every couple weeks I'll throw one of my ballerinas in there. But I want that feed to feel like what my work looks like. Like if you were to take all of my favorite pictures and print them and put them in a pile, like that's what I want my Instagram feed to look like. I try not to overthink it too much just because it's social media, and like 5 years from now, we'll probably have moved on to something else. And we just like, my husband and I try really, really hard to run a business that enables a life that we love instead of a life that's governed by our business's needs. And so I try really hard not to obsess over Instagram. I try to delete the app actually on the weekends so that I don't get caught scrolling. I struggle with comparison, and so I actually don't follow any other photographers on Instagram because actually I think I broke my rule and I followed my friend Doza the other day. But like I don't follow other photographers on Instagram because it's really easy for me to get stuck scrolling, and then like you're having this amazing day and you take like a 5-minute break, and then you see that someone else just like checked off one of your bucket list items that you've been dying to do for years, and just how like that can cause you to spiral. So that's my dog series.
Okay, I gotta talk. Okay, so Abby. Sorry, I'm like
you're fine.
Abby has 2 dogs named Lily and Sirius. So pop quiz. Can everyone tell where those names came from? Anyone? Type it in. Anyway, but I love that you're a big Harry Potter fan. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And your doggy's so cute. My dog is sitting at my feet right now.
Oh, we took our dogs upstairs. Well, Matt took our dogs upstairs because they have this really obnoxious tendency to bark at everything that makes a noise or has the audacity to move outside our windows.
Yes.
So
he's so
we put
cute.
them away.
That's serious. So is this Lily? Wait, no.
No, actually, that's my client's dogs. That's Brady,
Aww.
one of my client's dogs. But Lily's in there somewhere. She has she's a German Shepherd Corgi mix, and her ears pop up to the side. She's super cute.
Aww.
She's also really goofy. Got short legs. And so every time we take her out and someone's like, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute. What is that? I'm like, I know. She's kind of funny looking. So.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking for her. I can't find her. Do you want to see my dog?
Yeah. Yes, I would love to.
Say hi. Say hi.
Is it
Yes, it is.
I love
Most people think he's a golden doodle or something, but he's my baby. He's my baby.
Yeah. Wheatons are whiter than Goldens, right? They're more of a sandy.
Yeah. Well, they get whiter as the time goes on, and so it's he's been like a puppy, he's been more golden, but people are always like, "Is that a golden?" I'm like, "No, it's Wheaton."
But other Wheaton Terrier owners are like, "Hey."
Yeah, there's hardly any East. Okay, so I'm in Boise, Idaho, and there's just not a lot of Wheatons out here. We had to go to the Midwest to get him. Yeah, so
crazy.
Yeah, but I'm a dog lover also.
Yeah, it's weird. When I see other people's dogs out, I'm like, oh, puppy! You're great, but your dog.
I know.
And I didn't realize that people aren't like that everywhere. And I had a shoot in New York a couple of years ago, and went on a run through Central Park in the morning. And every dog I saw, I was like, puppy, can I pet your dog? And the New Yorkers are like, sure. And I'm like, why are you being so weird about this? And then I realized that not everyone's like that. We have a trail really near our house, and there's dogs and people go biking and running and everything, and everyone's super friendly on the trail. And I just made the mistake of thinking that everybody was like that.
Totally that sounds like something I would do, because I'll be walking through the airport and I'll see a dog and I'll just stop and have a 10-minute conversation with them. And I'm now I'm following the dog I met in the airport, and I'm
I will intentionally cross the street to ask if I can pet a really cute puppy, especially like a real puppy. I'm like, oh, your dog.
And you know how I ended up with a Wheaton Terrier is from Instagram. I saw a post about it was a puppy shoot, a new puppy shoot, and I clicked over to the blog and I read the whole story about it, and I was like, I must have a Wheaton Terrier. That's totally anyway. But yeah, well, anyway, that's awesome that you're a Hufflepuff too.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, not to be confused with any other Hogwarts house.
That's awesome. And I noticed you're wearing a white shirt.
Yep. It helps to make sure that the white balance is accurate, and also I hate getting dressed in the mornings. It's okay, which t-shirt do I want to wear today? And I always feel less productive. I always get dressed in the mornings. That sounds like a dumb thing to say, but some small businesses are I go to work in my pajamas. I can't do that. I have to get changed, and I always put on real pants, not yoga pants, and a real shirt. And sometimes the real shirt is a t-shirt, and I always feel just kind of frumpy. Yeah. So when we were in France this summer, I discovered these shirts by Uniqlo that were €10 a piece, and they're super comfortable. So I bought 4 of them. So I just wear and they go with everything, and they're easy to accessorize, and they're easy to wash, and they don't wrinkle. And I'm just I could wear these for the rest of I'll pull Steve Jobs and only ever wear this Uniqlo shirt and jeans.
That's awesome. I kind of feel like getting dressed is a pain too. Yeah.
Well, there's a real thing. I mean, there's a real thing called decision fatigue. Your brain only has. So Giselle, it's Uniqlo, UNIQLO. It's a Tokyo-based company that made it to France, and it is in the US now too. But yeah, decision fatigue is a real thing. And if you waste energy in the morning on decide, if fashion isn't the thing that gets you excited, that exhausting your decision-making abilities like early in the day means that you have less energy to devote towards like maybe some important stuff later on in the day. And someone asked is it okay if I answer questions as they pop up? Okay. No, I do not wear white shirts to weddings. I have like 2 or 3 dresses that I circulate in and out. One of them's by Gal Meets Glam, one of them's from Target, and one of them's like 5 or 6 years old from Banana Republic. So I have the same 3 dresses, again, making sure like that I'm not wasting energy on the morning of a wedding, like, oh gosh, what do I want to wear today? So all my behind the scenes photos that my second shooters take are the same 3 dresses over and over and over again.
That's awesome. I have a friend and she decided she was just going to wear black jumpers for a whole year. And she said it was awesome.
Get it. Get it. I mean, like, you never have to wonder about, and that way when you show up on the wedding day, you're not like fussing over like a new hemline or, you're not like freaking out the night before, like, oh no, what should I wear? The only thing that I can wear to weddings is dry cleanable, and I forgot to get a dry clean. Yeah. Just like jumpsuit, wash, done.
Yeah, that's awesome. And my white balance is terrible right here. I was trying a different setup with a light, and now I look like I'm pregnant. Oh well. Oh well. Well, I have to say, in preparation for this interview, I listened to your podcast with Jenna Kutcher. I always want to add an N in there. Yeah. And I thought it was so fascinating, and I could totally relate to it. And anyway, but I'm going to let you just lead the way. And if you want to just tell us a little bit about your journey as a photographer.
Sure. I'm going to twist this just a little bit so I can lean on my desk as I'm talking. Looks super catch, So I started taking pictures my junior year of college. I took a darkroom class and just completely fell in love with the magic of seeing like photos pop up on like a previously blank page when you put them in the developer and then in the fixture. It was crazy. I loved the darkroom. I spent so much time in the darkroom that I made myself seriously allergic to the chemicals, and now I have to wear gloves anytime I work in a darkroom. But just like fell head over heels in love with photography, and that was like at the end of my junior year, and was already 3/4 of the way done with a degree in communication. And at that point it didn't make sense to switch to fine art, so I was like, first of all, it's going to take me 2 extra years to graduate if I do that, and second of all, like, comms is like it's a generic enough degree that I can still use this as I'm building. Hey, Erica's one of my brides. I love her. There's a generic enough degree that I can still use it after I graduate as I'm building my photography business. So I spent 2 years in the corporate sector. I worked for a Fortune 500 company. I was a media relations representative, and learned super, super quickly that the corporate industry is not where I wanted to be. And I spent that. My goal was to be in the corporate industry, to take 2 years to build my business, and like I wanted to be able to leave after 2 years. So my first day was June 7th, 2010, and my last day was June 1st, 2012. So I was 6 days short of my 2-year goal. I was so excited. Awesome. Yeah, and so I spent my first year. Still seeing me? I'm so sorry.
Oh, you blanked out for a second, but you're back now.
Okay, good. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb just like you told me, but for some reason my mom called anyway, so that's so fun. So the first year of my business, I spent second shooting under another photographer who was super generous with me and really gracious with me. Like a very safe place for me to learn, and I will always be so grateful to him for that. And then in 2011, I started shooting my own weddings. So first wedding was in 2009, and then my first wedding on my own was 2011, and then I left my day job in 2012. So that's how
it came to be. That's awesome. So what? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, my husband started like coming on in like a very small capacity in 2015. Like in that summer, we started giving him like small pieces of the business to see how he did. Because I was at a place where I just like literally couldn't do everything anymore. And one of my business mentors was like, you have a very capable husband who is asking you to be of help with your wedding business, and you're not letting him. And so we started giving Matt small pieces in like July of 2015. And then in April of 2016, he left his day job. And so we worked together from home, which is really cool. Very challenging at times, but like so awesome.
That's awesome. That was a lot of, you covered a lot about that in your podcast. And I loved hearing how you worked together, and because I know it can be kind of challenging to work with a spouse and to turn it off once the day is over. And I was just like, amen, sister, when you were talking about how to have boundaries with clients and wishing you could go back and do it over again as far as like setting up expectations. Because like as I was listening to your podcast, I was getting this text from a client that was, you know, she's been a long time client, but because of that, you know, she texts me and I'm like, yeah.
That's so hard. And especially like because it's so interesting with like Instagram DMs and Facebook Messenger and all of that stuff these days that like, I think the rules of engagement have gotten really blurred. And so if you don't set expectations from the very beginning on like, hey, this is how I'd like to be communicated with, it makes it really easy for, especially in an industry that doesn't have the same norms as like a white collar, you know, corporate situation. And so, you know, and like I love texting with my clients for like non-business related stuff. You know, if I'm like, oh my gosh, happy birthday, like of course I'm gonna text them. Or like if they did something really amazing and I happen to see it on Instagram, like I may even call them and leave them a voicemail. Like I'm so excited for them, and that's totally fine. But when it's my whole thing is I can't text about stuff that I need to have a paper trail for, because texts can get so easily lost. Instagram DMs, you can't search your Instagram DMs for like keywords like you can with your inbox. Like I was trying to do this earlier today, and I can't remember exactly, or no, it was yesterday. I couldn't remember the person's name or like how to spell their name. And so I needed to find this conversation. And so I just Googled like one or two of the words that I knew we had discussed, like, I don't know, Washington Monument and US Capitol. Like I know we talked about those two things, so I could search my inbox for those words. But on Instagram DM, you have to have their name and you have to have the correct spelling of their name in order to find in your past DMs, which is super unhelpful if you're like, gosh, this bride like inquired with me on Instagram DM and I can't remember what her name was, or maybe her name isn't even part of her Insta DM or her Instagram profile. And so whenever we get an inquiry or just someone asking about, like I had this happen the other day, someone being like, hey, are you available in May of next year? I'd really like for you to shoot my wedding. And I was like, absolutely. I would love to send you more information. Please send me an email. Here's my email. I can answer all of your questions and send you my rates. And then I just don't respond. I don't give that information over Insta DMs, because I want, if they're serious, if they really do want that information, they'll send me an email. And if it's just like a casual, hey Catherine, if it's just like a casual, like, oh, well, I'll just send her a DM just to see, like, they're not really that invested, and it's a waste of their time and it's a waste of my time to continue engaging. So I ask for them to commit a little bit by sending me an email first, and then send them all of my information. It's just it's easier to track. Email is eternal. It will never go away. I mean, you know, 100 years from now it may go away, but like for the foreseeable future, email is not going anywhere. And it just makes it a whole lot easier for me. It makes it easier for them. I think it's a different story with like some of my ballerinas. My ballerina like photography is my personal work. And so I will get DMs from ballerina models on Instagram being like, I would love to shoot with you. And I'm like, great. I don't need to do this over email. Like sometimes we'll change numbers and we'll text, and that's fine, because it's not like, you know, like short of me needing them to sign like a model release, it's not like a business transaction, because it's personal work for me.
I love your and there's no work, by the way. Beautiful.
Thank you. It is my like heartbeat of, not the heartbeat of my business, but like it definitely like is the it's like soul breather into my business, especially when I'm really tired. Just like creatively speaking, it's like, it's just so
I love it. I love it. It's so beautiful.
Thank
Dancers are
you.
so inspiring, I think. It's just
Mm-hmm.
so beautiful and graceful. I love it.
Yeah. There was it was interesting a few years ago, there was a wave in the industry where like, I think ballerinas were like trendy. And so you saw all of these photographers. Oh, thanks, Becky. You saw all of these photographers like photographing. They're like, I want to point my camera at something pretty. Ballerinas are pretty. I will point my camera at them. And it was so interesting to me because I danced growing up. Like I spent time in the studio. I know what good technique looks like. And so you have non-dancers photographing ballerinas, and it was just very different.
Yes.
And it made me because I was like, I don't want my work to look the same as everyone else's, because I do have a different approach. And so it made me push harder into, okay, what does my ballerina work mean? What does it stand for? What do I want that to look like? And like the more I photograph personal work, the more that influences my my wedding work. And so like I pay a lot of attention to like finger placement and like gesture and like the movement of my brides and my grooms, because I've paid so much attention to my ballerinas and looking at them on the back of my screen or studying my film scans. Like even the slightest thing being off ruins a whole ballerina photograph. And so before I press the shutter with my brides and grooms, I pay a lot more attention to making sure everything is where I want it to be before I click the shutter.
That's awesome. I have noticed that the few times I photographed dancers, like I do not have a dance background, and I learned quickly that I needed to show them the back of the camera, because I know there's certain things as a dancer that they were not acceptable to them. You know, if they had one little thing off, they were like, I hate it, you know?
Yep. Oh yeah. And they do that. Ugh, I hate it. That's the thing that they do. Like, ugh, I have to do. Oh, let me get it.
And you're like, that's for me. Well, for me, because I'm a non-dancer, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But then,
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but see, I see it when like if I take a photograph and like everything is beautiful, but her foot is sickled, like the whole thing is ruined. There's no, I can't see it as the. Sorry.
Oh, I think there was a little glitch.
I can't see this beautiful composition that it is because it's so glaring.
Wait, what? Sorry, I missed the first part of that.
Oh, I was just saying, like if there's something small off with the photograph, like a sickled foot, then like I can't see the photograph for how gorgeous it is, because it's that one thing that's
that's awesome. Well, so will you tell us a little bit about your film? Okay, so you shoot film and digital, or just film?
I shoot a combination of film and digital, and I'm gonna grab my charge cord real quick. Sorry.
No, you're good.
This is so professional.
Hey, you know what? We're just cash.
Yes. So I shoot a combination of film and digital. So my MO is typically to shoot film whenever I can, and to shoot digital as either a backup or like when there's not enough light to shoot film. So I'll bring a tripod along with me to weddings to like if I'm shooting the bridal suite and like there's nice window light coming in, but it's not quite enough light for me to shoot faster than like 1/30th of a second, I'll bring my tripod in and just pop my camera on my tripod instead.
I'm amazed you can shoot at 1/30. That's so.
You have to stand really still, and like you can't have had too much caffeine that morning because you're like, you know, the normal rule with photography that like you shouldn't shoot at like less than 1 over the focal length. And so my contacts, my film camera's main lens that I use is an 80mm f2. So if I can't shoot like under 1/60th, starts to get a little dicey. If your subject is completely still, I can shoot 1/30th if I like breathe in and hold my breath. But like under 1/30th of a second, it's really too slow, and you start to see a lot of camera shake. And so that's when I pop it on a tripod. So I shoot most of my reception details on a tripod. All my portraits are handheld. If it's like a well enough lit ceremony, I'll shoot the ceremony handheld. And like bride getting ready is always handheld as well. But like anything that's still, that's like, it's questionable, I'll just put it on the tripod to be safe.
That's awesome. Okay. So you just have, when I started like reading up on you, when I knew I was going to interview you, I just was like, oh my gosh, Abby is amazing. you're just like the kind of person I could imagine talking with for hours and hours. And I know that's not possible right now, and neither of us have time to talk for hours and hours. But like, so for those watching, if somebody wants to, learn from you and, know how to do it the Abby way, do you have learning resources or anything like that out there that people can purchase?
Yeah, so we have a shop. It's abbygraceshop.com.
Is it off of your website?
No, it's just abbygraceshop.com.
Oh, okay, wait, I see it. Okay, I'm gonna flip it around.
I think it's a Shopify site.
Is this the right one?
Yep, that's it. Yeah, we do a lot. Like, communication is definitely my strength. And so our biggest thing that we sell is email templates. And we have email templates for photographers, and we also sell them for creatives in general, just because I know like tricky emails can be really hard to write. My favorite one is I think it's the gentle no pack.
The gentle no.
Like,
I love it.
All the things you have to say no to, like, can I get a discount? No. Like, can I have raw files? No. Can I, like all of those like uncomfortable questions that clients ask and you feel awkward saying no to. And like a lot of photographers just say yes, just to like get the discomfort.
Yes.
Woo! There we go. Sorry about that.
Worries.
My washi tape system died. Yeah, but so all of the things that photographers feel awkward saying no to, I found that it's just a lot easier if you have like those words already written out for you.
Yeah.
And like, I love saying no. It's personally one of my favorite things to do, which sounds really negative, but like I said earlier, we desire to run a business that enables a life that we love, and part of that means having like really strong boundaries,
because otherwise you'll just get so burnt out.
Yeah, get burned out, or like come to resent your business or resent your clients. And I never want to, sorry, I'm plugging my charge cord in. I never want to feel that way. I love my clients and I want to continue to love our business. So like we put really, can you hear me?
Oh wait, you paused for a second. Let's see. I'm just waiting for you to come back on.
Looks like it's a slow connection.
It's just one of the things about Instagram Live. You take what you can get.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me now though?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So tell us.
Okay.
So now that we know how to get more Abby wisdom, because I just totally loved what you said on the podcast that I listened to, and I was just like, yes. And can you tell us a little bit about about Instaproofs and how you use Instaproofs?
Yeah, so we use Instaproofs we just started, so I signed up for a trial like 6 years ago, because I think it was when I bought John Canless's the Biz Guide. Talked so much about Instaproofs and how much that was a game changer for him. So I signed up for it and then didn't use it. And then about 2 years ago, got really frustrated with seeing our photos being used like really widely by people who like weren't the bride and groom and weren't in the bridal party and weren't like the family of the bride and groom. So like seeing our photos being used as profile pictures of like someone who was just like a random guest at the wedding who because this is, but like I couldn't blame anyone for that. Like the system we were using at the time was free downloads for everyone, and I was just like, we're in the higher end like echelon of brides. This is not like it's just very interesting. Like the higher like our business has climbed, like the different behavioral aspects of our clients that we're learning to read, and just how interesting that is. And so realizing like, we want our clients to have prints. That's really important. And by making these downloads so freely available and so easy, what we're actually doing is discouraging our clients from consuming their photographs the way that I know is going to be the most beneficial to them. And it's not just, we want to make some extra cash with prints at all. Even though, that is part of our business model. And I used to really struggle with that, of feeling like that was immoral, but it's not. But I think for us, it really comes down to the whole vision statement for our business is to enrich and extend the life of any given marriage through the use of photography.
That's awesome. I love that.
Thanks. Yeah, and it's hard to do that if our clients don't have their photographs printed. If the way that they're consuming their pictures is only ever on an online gallery with super quick downloads and 10-year backups, and you're like, hey, that's really great for the convenience of Instagram, but like I want you to print your photographs because I know like when you're mad at each other, like really angry with each other over something either substantial or silly, that you're not gonna like flip on your phone and like start scrolling through, you know, your wedding gallery, but like you might walk past your wedding on your coffee table.
Amen. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, so that's why we switched. That was a very long story. Sorry.
Oh,
that's why we switched to Instagram was we really wanted to encourage prints because we knew that our clients needed them, and like we weren't serving our clients well by not making it easy for them to prints. So we use Instaproofs for all of our wedding and engagement clients. I mean, basically all of everything except for my ballerinas.
Okay.
And our galleries are all available for 1 year, and we do collect the email addresses, which is one of the things that I loved so much about Instaproofs was that it sends that monthly reminder of like, hey, either like you left some items in your cart, or like this person's wedding is still available. Did you want to order some prints? And then we do John's method of the 30% off for the first 7 days, and then another discount, a steeper discount for like the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Just to like really encourage our clients, like, hey, this is going to be the best time for you to order these prints. So most of our print sales occur within that first 7 days. Not too many within the last 7 days, I think, because at that point it's like a whole year after their wedding, and that's fine. But we just really wanted to make it easy to get their hands on prints, and we do the self-fulfill because I wanted to package the prints myself, and I can actually grab one of my print boxes real quick. Please don't judge how messy my office is. So we have the prints shipped to us from the printer. I like order them myself. We don't have Instaproofs fulfill those for us because it was important to me that the whole experience be super cohesive. And so these are the boxes. We order these from I love them so much. We order them from Design-A Glow.
Oh, I love Design-A Glow.
Yeah, so we have them in 5x7, 8x10, and 11x14.
Oh, I love that.
And so everything that comes in gets repackaged and then sent out to our clients so that when they open it, it feels more like a boutique experience.
What is your, what print labs do you use?
I use Miller's. We really like how easy their interface is. I know that Instaproofs has autofulfill through like Nations, and
they have Miller's.
There's a couple
more.
No,
they have a whole bunch now. It used to just be a couple, but Miller's is on there too.
Oh wait, really? Ooh, okay, that must be new. I'll have to check that out.
Pretty new. Yeah. They have expanded majorly because it used to just be like Pro DPI and Richard Photo Lab and
and Nations, I think.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, now there's tons more options.
Okay, cool. I'll have to look into that because right now I'm down hitting the download button, which is so convenient that you don't have to download photo by photo. You just hit the download button and everything comes together in one zip file.
I love it.
So I just upload those myself, but the self-fulfill option sounds a lot more convenient. So I'm going to try that out.
Yeah. Who was I interviewing the other day? Karen Hill. And she was like, the autofulfill is the best thing, the best invention in the whole entire world.
I have to try that because right now, so I have like, I block schedule. And so I only do print orders on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so like if we get a print order on a Friday, I don't order that until the Tuesday afterwards. So autofulfill would be super helpful. I'll have to try that out.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I have loved talking to you, and I feel like I could just talk to you for hours, but I'm sure you have other stuff going on. But do you have any parting thoughts to share with anyone about anything? I don't know. What's new for you?
Like anything?
Anything. What's inspiring you right now? How about that?
Oh gosh.
Or whatever you want to say.
I'm really trying to answer with like a Parks and Rec quote right now, but I'm not going to do that. Inspiring me right now, I think. So I'm reading a book right now called Rest, It's by Alex Sue something or other. I can't remember his last name. But it's really, really good. I have a tendency towards overwork, and I think a lot of creatives do. I think actually a lot of humans in general have a tendency towards overwork. And so this book is all about, like, you know, a lot of people tend to view like rest and work as like opposite ends of the spectrum, like things that are pitted against each other in a war for your soul, like it's work versus rest. And this book is all about how work and rest are partners, and that like if work is like the crest of the wave, then rest is like the bottom part of the wave, that you can't have one without the other, and that they work together. And that by resting well, you can do your best creative work. But if you push through and you only ever, like, if you bulldoze through and work, you'll never be able to reach your full potential of like what your creativity is capable of. Because your body craves rest. And so I think right now, just the thing that's inspiring me the most is giving myself permission to not work past when I can feel like my mind starting to be like, oh my gosh, I'm zoning out. So I don't know, just like, I guess like inspired by a lot of like historical figures who only worked like 4 hours a day. Not that that's necessarily what I'm striving for, but like feeling the permission to do that if we need to, just is like really freeing. So I love that.
I love that too. Well,
I don't know if that was the answer you're looking for.
No, I wasn't looking for anything in particular. I love hearing what's inspiring people at that moment. And it's so interesting to see such a wide range of, you know, what inspires people. And I want to check out that book. That sounds awesome.
You should. It's really good. It's funny because that book is my favorite book like right now. I mean, I'm reading it right now, but that and Deep Work. So Rest and Deep Work are my two favorite books, and they're they're both if you buy one on Instagram or on Amazon, it'll suggest the other. But Deep Work is like a game changer. It's huge.
Okay, I am going to put that on. Could you listen to them, or would you have to?
Yeah, it's I know Deep Work for sure is on Audible. I don't know if Rest is on Audible. I think Rest was only published this year, so it may not be available.
I feel like sometimes when I buy those types of books, I end up on Audible. I end up like having to buy the actual hard copy too, because I just want to read. I want to like outline it all and underline it all.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like walking now. I'm like, I have to go pick up my kids from school. They go to like this fine arts academy that's like way across town.
Yeah, that sounds fun though.
Yes, my daughter is whoops.
Last thing I heard was my daughter is.
Okay, I will let you go. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Rebecca. It was such a joy to chat with you.
It's such a joy to chat with you. I should have done my broadcast in my van. The white balance is way better.
Oh my gosh, yes. Next time. Now you know.
Now I know.
Now you know.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to talk to you, and I'm so inspired by what you have accomplished. And I just wish I could, hang out with you. So.
Oh, well, maybe one day we'll get a chance to meet up at a conference or something.
That would be awesome. Well, thank you so much, Abby.
Thanks, Becca.
Okay, see you.
Bye.
Bye.